What's up, Tackle Warehouse fans? Walker here on today's episode of What's New Tackle Warehouse. We have got some absolute heavy hitters today. Some rods, some forward-facing baits, some jig heads, some new Aftco stuff. We're going to jump right into it with the Duckett Jacob Wheeler 2.0 series of casting rods. Now, the original Duckett Jacob Wheeler was such an awesome rod at a really good price point. The 2.0 is nothing but the best. Just a little bit better improvement on the original series. They've got a bunch of different features on this here. They've got a Cincy Touch blank, a really sensitive blank. They've got a halo sanded blank on that as well, some really premium eyes on the rod, an EVA foam grip with that split grip there, just gonna lead to sensitivity. And you guys know Duckett rods, it is about the lightest rod that I've put in my hands in a long time. Super excited about this, the new Duckett Jacob Wheeler 2.0 series of casting rods. We're gonna go from the rod right into a brand called Cipher Fishing, made from Tackle Warehouse's favorite angler, Cody Meyer. Now, they've got a couple different things here. The first one I'm going to call out is their drop shot weight. You know, just your standard tungsten drop shot weight, going to be really able to see that on the forward-facing screen. And then what I like about it is they've actually got the weight stamped in there. That way, if you're searching through your box, you're not having to find different weights and stuff and try and compare them to see what's 3/8, what's quarter. It's stamped right there on the weight. That way, you know every time you're grabbing the size that you need. They've also got a tungsten nail weight. Now, a lot of times I find tungsten nail weights that are just the full length tungsten, but I actually really like this style tungsten nail weight. One, it doesn't come out of the bait as easily, especially if you're using a really soft plastic. The little grip, I guess, bait keepers on the tungsten nail weight is going to hold it right in place. But I also like that the tungsten would be kind of exposed from the worm. That way you drag it along the bottom and it's just making little ticking noises rather than just the sound of soft plastic hitting the bottom. You come across any rocks, I want it to kind of make just a little bit of noise to get those fish's attention, and that Cipher tungsten nail weight is going to do just that. Now, they've also just got a tungsten round ball head jig. One thing about this tungsten ball head jig that makes it a little bit different is they make some awesome hook and weight combinations. This one here is the 1/4 ounce 3/0. They also have a 1/4 ounce 2/0, and I was using the 3/8 2/0 this past weekend on Lake Lanier for some spotted bass, and man, this hook they have on there, it is a Teflon coated hook, super silk, sharp finish on that. They were not missing it. As soon as you got a hook point in those fish, they were coming in the boat. Super strong hook on there, and then the bait keeper as well held plastic just perfect. Super excited about that. Just your standard tungsten ball head jig, but everything about it, the hook, the size and weight ratio between the hook and the weight of the jig head is absolutely perfect. Now, they've got that tungsten just ball head jig, but they also make a mid strolling head. Now, this one here is going to be the 3/16 1 out for those smaller baits. It's hard to find a really good jig head, I think, that does everything well, and this one here by Cipher Fishing does. You've got the horizontal line tie, which adds a little bit of rolling action when you're kind of shaking a minnow. It's got a little bit of weed guard there, and just enough to get you out of some timber, but not enough to prevent you from getting some hook sets. And again, that same Teflon silky smooth finished hook on there with an awesome bait keeper on it. Cipher Fishing, new stuff. Super excited to have that at Tackle Warehouse. Also, new at Tackle Warehouse is a Tackle Warehouse and Renown Tackle TW exclusive jig head. This is the helmet jig head. Now, you'll see here the line tie comes about midway between that weight, but if you look at the way that weight is situated on the hook there, it kind of goes and comes over where your soft plastic bait would be. Now, what that does is if you have your line tie in the middle or kind of where most of the weight's behind it, it puts the center of gravity whenever you pull on your line in front of where the weight is, and it just creates a little bit of resistance that gets that nice rocking action when you want to be throwing a minnow on forward-facing sonar or without forward-facing sonar. It's a great technique, but just that mid-strolling, kind of shaking the minnow, getting it to roll and rock hard, that helmet head by Renown Tackle and Tackle Warehouse exclusive is going to be an awesome player. Again, made with some quality hardware. This one here has a super smooth, nice, just raw finish on the head and a very sharp hook on it. Super excited about that. Kind of going with that same forward-facing sonar trend, we've got the all-new Strike King Pinger Minnow. Now, this is a cool little bait here. There's a lot of times I rig a bait wrong and it makes me mad, or I just get it not on there straight and I'm worried that it's going to affect my fish catching. But this here, pre-rigged baits from Strike King, they come 3 to a pack. They got the 3-inch here or the 4-inch here. Super excited about that. They've got this nice little split tail on the back that just leads to that, again, enticing rocking and rolling action when you're shaking it or doing almost a straight retrieve. It gets a little nice shimmy side to side. Specifically to be used with forward-facing sonar, says Strike King, but I think you could get away with using it bank fishing or kayak fishing if you just want to find some fish that are feeding up on some small bait fish. This is going to be an awesome addition to your arsenal, the Strike King Pinger Minnow. Next up from Coolbaits, arguably one of the best underspins on the market, they now have the Coolbaits Down Under thin wire underspin. They make a lot of different sizes in that regular down under. This one here though is going to be the thin, kind of your more finessey style. There's a lot of times I want to throw it on spinning gear with a smaller swim bait on the back of it, and that all new thin wire underspin is going to be an awesome addition to it. You've got premium components on there. You've got a nice 90-degree jig hook with the molded head on there. I really like that they have the swivel molded into the head. For whatever reason, I haven't found a underspin that swims about as straight as this one does on the market. So I've been loving the Coolbaits for a long time, and I'm super excited to introduce the new thin wire down under underspin by them. All right, next up from Coolbaits, we have their new umbrella rigs. Now, obviously from Coolbaits, you're gonna get some quality components, a really solid construction on there. They've got that same kind of signature Coolbaits looking head on the front of the umbrella rig. It looks like it's made from quality components. It's not gonna break after 1 or 2 fish. Those wires aren't bending, it's staying right on there. It's built for up to 5 jig heads. Obviously check your state's regulations on hooks. You might wanna add some teasers on there, but ultimately you can fit at least 5 different swim baits on there. They also threw this out there in the description of the bait, is that you could put some of those down under swim baits on there if you want just a little bit more flash, add an underspin to it, get you some extra blades. The one thing that I think that's different, a little bit unique about this umbrella rig, is they've actually built in a pretty big split ring on the front of those. So in case you are traveling and you don't have an umbrella rig holder, you can just take this, slide it right down the bait, keeps it right in line. It's those wire arms aren't going everywhere. When you're ready to fish, you just take that split ring, slide it up, and you're ready to fish. Just your normal umbrella rig. Super awesome bait from Coolbaits. All right, next up we've got a bunch of Aftco products. This here is the Aftco bait binder, built with just a bunch of little different compartments kind of on that ring binder on the inside. You're gonna have a bunch of different storage for soft plastics or big baits or really whatever you wanna put in here, and it's made by Aftco, so it's gonna be fantastic. It's got a waterproof liner on there. You can throw it right in the boat. Awesome storage solution by Aftco. That's the bait binder. Super excited about that. Next up, they've got just the Aftco backpack. You know, whether you're looking to just add a backpack to your lineup or you want to have another storage solution, this one by Aftco is made specifically for fishermen to take fishing or off the water. I can definitely see myself picking one of these up just to have around the office and actually look like I know what I'm doing rather than having whatever other backpack. An Aftco backpack is definitely a must-have. Last up by Aftco, we've got the 50-liter boat bag. Man, this thing is a beast, but I would absolutely love to get my hands on one of these anytime I'm fishing with a buddy and I just want to have all my stuff in one place that I don't want to take out and just throw different boxes, you know, in his boat. The 50-liter boat bag by Aftco is an awesome way to transport your tackle, either from your house to your own boat or your boat to another buddy's boat, or just take bank fishing with you if you felt like lugging this thing around and having access to all your tackle at all times. Awesome, awesome addition to the Aftco lineup right there. If you liked any of the stuff we covered today, whether it be baits or storage solutions or rods, make sure you head on over to tacklewarehouse.com to check out all of these awesome products and everything else we offer.